All right, everybody, here we are. And I mean, here we are. Seriously, what a day. And we have to put a lot together, so bear with me here. This is my post-market wrap-up on this Wednesday, November 20th, 2019. This is the biggest story of the day. But before we get to that, I want to read a few things to you, and I want to cover it. Let me just set the stage for you. Stocks finished in the negative today, although well off of the lows. We got a little piece of news today about this China deal being dead, at least moving into next year. The market sold off big time and then miraculously got propped up. Half of the losses were erased. Cryptocurrencies were flat. Metals flat. The dollar did gain on this news. Crude oil took off. And those of you that have been listening to me about buying the dips with regard to crude oil are very, very happy. All right, so let's read a few things and cover it blow by blow. This morning, as the president was walking onto Air Force One, he said, and he offered this up, China wants to make a deal. A little cocky in his attitude. Well, as the day progressed, we found out that that's not actually the case. It turns out that this phase one, the substantial phase one deal is not happening. And that's why the market sold off today. Look, in my opinion, China is daring the president to raise tariffs. Understand, China doesn't give a damn about these tariffs at all. They're not being paid by China, nor do we pay tariffs to China. Again, they have tariffs on us, we have tariffs on them. Who writes the check? No. The tariffs are paid by the importers and exporters and passed on to you. That's how it works. China does not give a damn. Neither do we. I mean, we're not paying these tariffs. So, and that's the big secret. You're not supposed to know that China has tariffs on us. So who's paying it? Is Donald Trump writing the check? The Treasury? No. It's not how it works. You all know that. So again, the narrative that, we're taking in billions from China is an epic lie of truly monstrous proportions, and we are losing the trade war because of our trade deficit. I'm not beating up on the president. I know you're going to get triggered, some of you. Trigger! You getting triggered? You feeling jittery? Yeah. Well, these are the facts. Look at the trade deficit between the United States and China. They have a trade surplus. They're not paying the tariffs, neither are we. China is daring the president to raise tariffs, and do you know why? Because the stock market's going to not like it. The stock market is the president's Achilles heel. Period. So this morning, China wants a deal. They want it badly. No, they don't. It's a joke. It's just too stupid to be stupid. Now let's. I want to set the stage for you a little further. Most of you already know this, but I'm going to float it out here. The wording, substantial phase one deal, was chosen before there was even a meeting between China and the United States. The narrative that there would be a deal was already decided before the meeting, even the wording, and it was floated out here to have the effect on the stock market, to push it higher. Now understand, now that this has come to light, that this deal is pretty much dead, at least for the year, more than likely, it's not happening. Understand, it's not happening here. China is pulling the strings. They have been for a very long time. I know the triggered, the ones of you that have to trigger. China's economy is failing. So are we. We're in full-blown recession right now. And this is why the Fed is doing what they're doing. Let's talk about the Fed a little bit. We heard from the Fed minutes today, and they're saying, no reason to be cutting rates right now. Look, this is what people are focused on. It's an absolute joke. Right now, as you know, the Fed is pumping hundreds upon hundreds of billions into the debt market. hundreds of billions into their repo scam, which is now perpetual. Did you hear that news? This guy right here explained to you when this all began that it would be perpetual, that it would not stop. It was announced by the Fed today, yes, it is perpetual. That's what they're looking to do. They're going to keep it going. They have no choice. They are the lenders and buyers of the last resort. So the Fed is pumping hundreds of billions into the debt market, involved in a repo scam. They are recapitalizing the banks to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars. We just bailed out the farmers. You know that. We bailed out Chinese farmers too, right here in the United States. China's laughing at us. But you know, China really, they wanted a deal badly just as of this morning. But now the deal's dead. So here's what's in the works right now. Damage control. Massive damage control. Meaning they're going to float out Kudlow, Navarro, whoever they got. They're going to let this settle out a little bit till you forget it. And then you're going to hear China talks are going well. Deal soon. The market has already priced this in, like I explained yesterday. If we really don't get a deal and the president hikes tariffs, this market will fall thousands of points. Thousands of points. I urged my lions out here to not short this market on the news today. I posted it on. I said, be very cautious here. We're not done. They have to go into damage control. The scripts are going to be given out to the mainstream media, the mainstream financial channels. They're all being told what to say, maybe as soon as tomorrow. We're going to hear that the deal is not dead. And understand, just like I said, the decision was made prior to the meeting between the United States and China to push the narrative that a deal was made, the substantial phase one deal. Even the wording was chosen prior to a meeting so it could be pushed on you. Okay, the American people. It's a game. It's a charade. Just like the impeachment nonsense people are tuning into this. It's a show. No different than a sitcom or a Star Trek episode or some Fantasyland thing. Just like the Mueller thing was. They're dragging you along. It's not real. Look here. Don't look here. Don't think about the massive downward revision in GDP that we just had, a 1.9, for which Citizen Trump in 2012 said was an economy in trouble. We are now 0.3. All right. Not a word from the president about this. Not a word from the president about what the Fed is doing. Full-blown QE, perpetual repo, perpetual QE, bank bailouts. You're doing it. Not a word. Nothing. Our economy is still booming. According to our president here, again, the lies, like I've explained to you, must get larger and more incredible. And they are going to revive this trade talk thing. It's going to be revived. It's not going to be real. 100% fake. But they're going to revive it to try to prop up the stock market. The sell-off that we had when this news was announced was immediate. I even posted what just happened on Twitter and Facebook, and everyone was like, what's going on? Then all of a sudden we got the news. This was the market telling the president, look, dude, what are you doing? You know, get a handle on this at least. And if we don't get a deal, this is going to get much worse. This is a language, okay, between the market and the president. Very simple. The lies can only go so far. This entire thing has been a lie and a scam on the United States of America. It really has been. And in many ways, you don't want to hear this, it's not the president's fault. He is a mouthpiece, okay? And I think there are those that are controlling him that are going out of their way to make him look like an imbecile of the highest order. Because that's what he looks like here. After just this morning, China wants a deal. His words. Then we get this. So there is some twisted forces going on here. And the president is a puppet. That's all he or she or it will be when they get into that pretty White House. Understand that. There is a much bigger, uglier, hideous, disgusting underbelly to this, and I think most of you understand that. But let me put this out there too. How many of you remember, and I know you do, months ago when the president literally said, I must support Apple, and I said to everyone, buy Apple. Okay, stock skyrocketed since that point. There's all this fanfare today. The president is going to an Apple warehouse and with Tim Cook, and they're putting on a big show for the people. The president's getting out of Air Force One, big thing, because he supports Apple because he wants them to make their products here in the United States. But what you are not supposed to know, I'm going to read this to you. I'm going to read it to you. Okay. So we know that Trump, he loves Apple. So let me ask you, I'm going to read this to you verbatim. Where are Apple components made? Here's a clue for you. Components are sourced from all over the world, from some 500 suppliers, mostly in East Asia, with some in Northern America and Europe. Expensive components like the display, the application processor, the memory, the modem, and other chips are actually often not made in China. They are coming from Japan. Some of that's made here in the United States too. Very few components are made here in the U.S. Italy's making components, South Korea, Taiwan. So the president wants you to believe, because he thinks you're that stupid, that if Apple gets all of their parts from all over the world but builds them here, that's great for America. Yeah, so he gets a bunch of flunkies to follow a little thing, click this piece with this, put this piece with that, and this is great. Made in America, so we don't have to raise tariffs on Apple. He honestly thinks, or the people pulling the strings, that you are so stupid that you can't even put this together in your own head. It's impossible for you to know, because you believe that all these components are being made here in America too. No. But the fanfare, the Air Force One, him and Tim Cook, all lovey-dovey now. Oh yeah, buy Apple stock. This is what you should be doing here. No doubt about it. Unless, of course, the president takes China's bait, which if the president does not take the bait here, that China is setting a major trap for him, raise tariffs, he's going to look like a buffoon. And if he raises tariffs, the market's going to take a hit. China has cornered the president like a rabid animal. And what are they going to do? Well, the president's going to try to distract you. Look at what they're trying to do to me in the impeachment hearing. Look at what they're doing. Yeah, don't look at anything else. They're impeaching me. They're impeaching me. They're impeaching me. Which will never happen anyway, just like the Mueller thing. It's a distraction. And I hope you're snapping out of it. This is a game. You are a pawn in a game. And I think for the most part, the followers of my blog get it. And the followers of the shill blogs, let me ask you about the shill blogs. Where's the indictments? You remember all those indictments that were supposed to come? You remember that? Yeah. That worked out real well, didn't it? Duh! I'm sorry. For those of you that did buy it, I don't know what to say. Maybe you need a new IQ test. Possibly. You can do a free IQ test online, as a matter of fact. I would suggest doing one and see if it's gone down a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, it probably has. If you've been following the Shill YouTube channels, you know who I'm talking about. Everything they have said, everything has gone the opposite way. What I've said has all come true. So you choose who you want to listen to. All right, with that said, see this guy? He really does love you. Even those of you that bought the indictment shills, just stop watching them. Just laugh. Just, when you respond to their YouTube things, just laugh. Sure. Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. I'll leave you off with that. This guy really does love you. See you in the morning. I am out of here.